Hello. I've come up to my bedroom to have a proper chat with you guys. Loads of you have been reaching out to me on Instagram and here on the lives, really stuck with what to do about the binge cycle. Have you got stinking thinking about food? Are you worrying about your weight and then because you're worried and unhappy and depressed, you eat more? Then you eat more and you feel depressed and you hate yourself. So you try not to eat anything, so you starve yourself for a bit. And then you can't bear it anymore, so you go rummaging in the cupboard and you eat a whole bag of chocolate or 3 bags of crisps. Are you there? Are you feeling nervous and anxious about everything that's going on in the world, and you find that just for the minute that you're eating and swallowing, you don't feel it, you don't think about it, you feel numb for a minute, anaesthetised, just like somebody might do after half a glass of wine? That's emotional eating, and it's a bugger. It's a bugger because if you're somebody that does it, if you are that somebody that does it, it's kind of, it's not seen as seriously as, say, like somebody who's drinking their problems away, or I don't know, all the other different things that people do to deal with their problems. And yet you and I know it's a torturous place to be in, with that sort of negative cycle going on in your head. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say it's torturous. It's that whole cycle, isn't it, of having a good day and a bad day. Oh, I was good today, I was bad today. Oh, I was good yesterday, and now I've been bad this morning, so I feel like I'm going to be bad all day. I mean, I estimate that I've wasted probably half of my life thinking like that. If I was to add up all the hours over all the years, how many hours would it be? How many years would it make up? And I know lots of you have this. I know lots of you, because you do reach out to me, and it's heartbreaking. And the young ones, when you do, and I just think, please, I've had these conversations with you before on here, and I like to see myself with the subs as a bit of a big sister, a bit of an auntie, a bit of a mum, a bit of a mate, a bit of a cousin. And I really feel like lots of the stuff that I've gone through, and lots of the stinking thinking that I've gone through, and some of it I see in my daughter, my eldest daughter, and I feel so guilty about that I infected her when she was little with stinking thinking. I mean, I try and make up for it now. I try and be, really confident and positive and all of those things with her. But it is something that I have to think about. I have to think about it. So, and that is progress, because what I'm doing is, like the old me, I would be in this terrible cycle the whole time, thinking about it the whole time, thinking about what I could eat and what I couldn't eat, and how many calories something was, and starving brilliantly for a couple of days, and then just eating really chaotically and disorderly, just like, I'm not going to have any breakfast, but then I'll have 2 bags of crisps for lunch, that sort of thing. Or, I'll skip dinner, but then I'll end up having 2 glasses of wine, a lump of cheese and half a loaf of bread. That sort of chaotic eating. Make a gorgeous meal for my family, and then just have like a sausage roll from the fridge dipped in mayonnaise. That sort of stinking thinking, where you don't think that you're valuable enough to feed in a really healthy, ordered way. I'm so glad that I am so far on from where I used to be, but it ain't perfect. Ain't perfect at all. I do struggle, and as you know, a couple of weeks ago I was in bits, because I'd eaten 2 massive packets of digestives just because I'd been stressed and I was swallowing down my feelings. You eat, you swallow down your feelings. You eat, you swallow down. Oh, I'm stressed. Oh my God, I hate my boyfriend. Oh my God, I want to kill my husband. Oh my God, my kids are driving me mad. Oh my God, I'm so worried about money. It's all a way of just like keeping that like panic, that butterfly that can come up here. It just stills it because you've swallowed down the feelings. But of course, the feelings don't stay swallowed down. They rise back up again, but with so much worse going on because now you hate yourself as well. It's like I've said on here before, these horrible voices that we let live in our heads that can say the most horrible things to us, that keep us on this vicious cycle of overeating, restricting, overeating, 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 restricting, restricting, overeating. It's really, I just think it's so brutal. Yeah, for men it is. There are men, but it's much more. There's many more women that go through that. I really recognise that a lot of men really struggle with this, and I hope you're watching this too, and I hope you're listening. And my heart goes out because we're all the same. You know, we're all the same. We know. You know. We're the aliens, and the other people that don't have this stuff are the earthlings, the ones that say, well, why don't you just not eat? Or why don't you just eat what you want and then just not eat anything else? You know, that lot that have no understanding of what it's like at all. They're not listening to this. The only ones that are listening to this are all the ones that know. We can all secretly look at each other and know. I can tell. If I sit at a table with somebody eating, I can tell within 40 seconds if there's somebody that has like disordered eating or they're just eating. Like if I put a bag of crisps and a pot of hummus on the table, a whole bag of crisps, big bag of crisps and a pot of hummus, I'm going to eat all of it. Because what if I'm in a social situation, because I get nervous and then I start eating, and then the faster I eat, the faster I eat. So I've learned the lessons. I'll put a bit on a plate. I'll put some crisps on the plate. Or I won't have one, because if I have one, I might have the whole bag. But on the direct question of what to do about binging in lockdown, this is very, very hard. This is a really, really tough time for us. For those of us that use food to quell our unhappiness, our irritability, our emotions. This is a very hard time. We're locked down. We might be in situations with people that we don't like. You might be in a situation with somebody that's unkind. You might be in a situation where you've got a perfectly lovely person like me, but it doesn't stop those nasty voices in your head. It doesn't stop you finding your hand halfway down a large packet of crisps, finding your hand halfway through a loaf of bread and you didn't even remember eating the first slice. You know. Food on food on food on food, more food. Oh my God, I feel so fat. I feel so disgusting. I feel so fat. I feel so disgusting. I'll eat some more, you know. So I think there are things that have really helped me, and I'll tell you what they are. And they might work for you and they might not, but you might just be able to use it as a sort of framework and then work out your own things. It's never worked for me to cut out whole food groups. So I've done the no carb, I've done the Dr. Dukan, or Dr. Dukan as I call him. I've done the cabbage diet, I've done all those things. And every single diet I went on, I lost weight and then I put on more weight until I was, until I dieted my way to obesity, that's what I say. And I was 4.5 stone heavier than I am now. And I got, and that's really unhealthy. I'm still a bit more overweight than I'd like to be for my health, not for my looks, for my health. I look the way I look. It is what it is. But for my health, I would like to be a bit less. So, first of all, I get up in the morning and I do anything between 7 minutes exercise and 45 to an hour, depending on how good I feel. Often, very often, it's only 7 minutes. And I'll either jump up and down on my rebounder, or I'll do the Lucy Wyndham Reed 7-minute exercise, or I'll do 80s aerobics with my friend, who I'll put her link underneath. And then I do the 16-8. Now, this is a way of intermittent fasting. It's intermittent fasting. You can just do it for a couple of days a week. You can do it 3 days a week. You can do it 7 days a week. This works for me. I'm not advocating a diet. It's not a diet. I'm not pushing it. There's no money involved. This is just simply what I do. So I eat at 12 is my first meal, and I finish eating at 8. Now that works for me. It just works for me. Don't get me wrong, I love breakfast, but I just find the way that my mind and my body goes, if I start eating in the morning, I eat all the way through the day. So at 12 o'clock, I have something that I really, really want. Every meal that I have has to be something I really, really want, something really delicious. So I usually have I make my own cappuccino, and then I'll have something like, because I love it so much, I love eggs so much, so I'll have poached eggs or scrambled eggs or boiled eggs, and I'll have brown toast and Marmite, and I might have a little avocado, I might have a little spinach, but I have what I want. The old me would have gone, I can only have one egg and I can only have half a slice of toast. I'd be bloody starving and then stuffing something at 1 o'clock because I was still hungry. So I want a couple of eggs, I'll have a couple of eggs. If I fancy a slice of bacon, I'll have a slice of bacon. I do not count the calories. I do not think about the calories. But I'm sated. I've had enough. And then I'm not hungry again until lunch. But if I do, if hunger comes at me, I do this. I say, am I tired? Am I sad? Am I lonely? Am I angry? Am I frightened? I just go through all the emotions and I listen. I really listen to if I am. I have a big glass of water actually before I ask all those questions, because often when we're thirsty, it gives exactly the same feeling as hunger. So I'll start with that. Big glass of water. And then after my glass of water, and if I ask myself all those feelings, quite often the hunger has passed. Sometimes it will be, no, I'm not any of those things. I am actually hungry. So then I will put onto a plate something that I really like. So it might be peanut butter on a couple of slices of apple. It might be a bit of cheese. I don't even ban cheese. I don't ban anything on a Rivita with a bit of butter. If I want butter, I'll have butter. But I don't have 10 slices of Rivita and I don't have 10 pieces of cheese, because that isn't me really wanting it. That's me hurting myself. That's me eating too much, because I know further down the line in the day, I'm going to be angry with myself and I'm going to have the nasty voices and go, oh my God, you're disgusting. You ate all that cheese. You ate all that. And I don't want those little fuckers in my head. Get out of my head. So then for lunch, I'll have something like a good witch, I call it, which will be like really good bread. And then I'll have like maybe ham or chicken, or sometimes I just have avocado, tomato, mayonnaise, alfalfa and spinach. I love it. If I can get hold of an avocado nowadays. Never would have had that. Can't have mayonnaise. Can't have avocado. But then I'll have a donut down the line. So I don't put tons of mayonnaise, but I spread it on my bread, have my avocado, put a bit of salt, nice rock salt. I don't want to not have salt. Not having salt is horrible. So I have a bit of salt. And then sometimes I'll have a bag of crisps with it. But I won't have a family pack. I won't have a grab pack. I'll just have a normal packet of crisps. And because I'm just allowed myself to have it, if I didn't allow myself to have the bag of crisps at lunchtime, I'd probably have 3 or 4 later. It's really weird. This is just what's worked for me, okay? Then about 4 o'clock, I'm always really hungry. And I used to do this thing like, oh, I've got that 4 o'clock. And I'd go ravaging for chocolate. And I would just eat loads of chocolate because I want that sugar hit, because I've got tired. So I'll just have something shit. I'll go, no. So say I really want something sweet. What I'll do is make myself maybe some toast, put it on a really nice plate, have butter, have a bit of jam, or have a bit of honey or maple syrup. But then I might have something like a spoonful of peanut butter, or I might have a few nuts to balance out the sugar. I've had it, nice big coffee. If you want full fat milk, have full fat milk. Honest to God, if you eat like this, it's all the shit that people that struggle with their weight, that they lie to themselves about. All the stuff that you eat because you didn't want to be seen eating. That's what's unhealthy. And then for dinner, I'll either have, the other day, I had roast chicken and roast potatoes and loads of veg. I always have 3 times the amount of veg as anybody else because I like to eat and I like to chew. Tonight I will be having chili black bean with rice, and I will have avocado salsa on the top, and I'll have some sour cream, and I'll sprinkle some cheese. Not loads of cheese, just a bit of cheese. We all know when we've overstepped it. But the one thing I do not do is count effing calories. I don't have low fat this, I don't have low sugar that, I don't do any of that. I have what I want. I have something that tastes delicious, because you know what? Food is such a wonderful thing for us to enjoy. And our bodies, these beautiful, amazing, incredible, strong bodies, deserve to have nice food. If I want something really shit late at night, I'll have a bowl of cereal. I'll have a 2 fish finger sandwich with a bit of tartar sauce and maybe like a brown bap. All of these things, when I was 4.5 stone heavier than now, I would say, oh, I don't eat that. Oh, I'm not having that. Well, what was I eating then? What was I eating to be that weight? What was I eating? I was eating all the bloody time. But I was just lying to myself about it. So I think you have to be really mindful. For some people, what really works is to decide in the morning what they're going to eat. Don't write it down. Don't add up the calories. Not any of that. But just think, I'm going to have that lunch. Because sometimes if we leave it till we're too hungry, we just start grabbing stuff. Have a little bit of a plan. I don't like a total plan the night before, because I'm one of those people who like to see what I fancy on the day. Stay away from the news. Don't watch the news all day long. Stay in contact with other people. Talk to other people. You know, Zoom, WhatsApp, FaceTime. Join me and Mark on our lives morning and evening. Distract yourself if you're feeling really hungry. Just remember, nothing tastes as good as I feel when I know I've looked after myself and I'm feeling healthier and slimmer. I'm not talking about the way we look. I'm talking about for our health. For our health, you know. Just distract. If you feel like you're going to go for a binge, phone somebody, do something else, put on a program, have a nice bath, do your hair, you know, give yourself a body scrub, distract. Check in with your feelings. How am I feeling? Also, there's OA, you know, like this OA, Alcoholics Anonymous says OA, and they have meetings online on Zoom that you can go to. Anyone can join them, and it's really, really interesting listening to other people that are struggling with overeating or struggling using food to quell their emotions in this terribly, terribly difficult time. So, yeah, just thought I'd share a bit of what I do. Yeah. So my 16-8, I start at 12, I finish at 8, and I don't have anything after that time. I don't have any milk in my tea, I don't have anything like that. And that works for me. Now, maybe you could do a 10-hour and then think, whatever works for you, try it. Just what's worked for you before, try it. Never put a photo up of some person that isn't you to inspire you. Put a photo up of you when you were at your happiest on your fridge door. And use that to inspire you. Use yourself to inspire you. Don't use somebody else. Yeah? And I do feel your pain. And I can do little updates on this through lockdown, because it's really, really hard. We're all struggling with something. It's just, there's us lot that know that it's food that gets us. So, yeah. I'm looking forward to a nice dinner tonight, because I deserve a nice dinner. And I'm not going to count my calories. And I'm not going to binge in between. If I want something, I'm going to put it on a plate. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to take my time and eat it. If you're a stuffer at the cupboard, like I was, and like I still am sometimes, I have to be mindful. Just put it on a plate and sit down. All right, lovelies.